Pride and Prejudice is a classic novel written by Jane Austen, first published in 1813. It's a romantic novel set in the early 19th century in England, and it follows the life and loves of Elizabeth Bennet, one of 5 sisters in a respectable family. The novel explores themes of social class, marriage, and morality through Elizabeth's interactions with Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy, a wealthy and seemingly aloof gentleman. Initially, Elizabeth's prejudice against Mr. Darcy and his pride lead to misunderstandings and conflict. However, as the story progresses, both characters undergo personal growth and come to understand each other better, leading to a resolution that highlights the novel's themes of personal development and the importance of understanding and respect. Pride and Prejudice is celebrated for its wit, its sharp social commentary, and its memorable characters. It remains widely read and adapted, reflecting its enduring appeal and relevance. Have you read it, or are you thinking about diving into it? Certainly. Here's a summary of the story of Pride and Prejudice. Setting. The novel is set in rural England during the Regency era, around the early 19th century. Main characters: Elizabeth Bennet, the intelligent and spirited protagonist; Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy, a wealthy, reserved, and initially arrogant gentleman; Jane Bennet, Elizabeth's gentle and beautiful elder sister; Mr. Charles Bingley, Mr. Darcy's affable and wealthy friend, who falls in love with Jane; Mr. Bennet, the sarcastic and detached father of the Bennet family; Mrs. Bennet, the mother obsessed with marrying off her daughters; Mr. Collins, a pompous clergyman and the Bennet family's heir; Lydia Bennet, the youngest Bennet daughter, who elopes with the untrustworthy Mr. Wickham; Mr. Wickham, a charming but deceitful officer who has a troubled past with Mr. Darcy. Plot summary 1. Introduction. The story opens with the Bennet family learning of the arrival of a wealthy bachelor, Mr. Charles Bingley, in their neighborhood. Mrs. Bennet is eager to marry off her daughters to him. Bingley is kind and soon becomes interested in Jane Bennet, but his friend Mr. Darcy is perceived as proud and aloof, which creates a negative impression. 2. Initial conflicts. Elizabeth Bennet, the second eldest daughter, overhears Mr. Darcy insulting her at a ball, leading her to view him as arrogant and contemptuous. This prejudice is reinforced when Mr. Darcy's behavior appears haughty and dismissive. Meanwhile, Mr. Bingley's interest in Jane is momentarily interrupted when he leaves for London, seemingly influenced by Mr. Darcy. 3. Mr. Collins's proposal. Mr. Collins, the Bennet's heir, proposes to Elizabeth, but she rejects him. Mr. Collins then marries her friend Charlotte Lucas. Elizabeth is initially shocked, but later visits them and observes their modest life. 4. Development of feelings. Elizabeth meets Mr. Darcy again at Pemberley, his estate, where she is impressed by his home and his gracious sister, Georgiana. Mr. Darcy begins to show a different side, and Elizabeth starts to reconsider her feelings. 5. Revelation and redemption. Elizabeth learns about Mr. Darcy's role in separating Jane and Bingley, and she discovers the true nature of Mr. Wickham, who had lied about Mr. Darcy's past. Mr. Darcy, meanwhile, makes amends by helping to resolve Lydia's elopement, which threatened the Bennet family's reputation. 6. Resolution. Mr. Darcy's sincere actions and Elizabeth's acknowledgement of her own misjudgments lead to a deeper understanding between them. Elizabeth's feelings transform from disdain to love. Mr. Darcy proposes again, this time with mutual respect and affection. Elizabeth accepts, and both families eventually reconcile. Conclusion. The novel concludes with Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy happily married, and Jane and Mr. Bingley also united. The story ends on a note of optimism. emphasizing the themes of personal growth and the importance of overcoming pride and prejudice to find true love and understanding. Pride and Prejudice is renowned for its exploration of social class, character, and relationships, all while delivering a sharp commentary on the societal norms of its time.